Ahar, matey! Aye. Hoist the sail! Huzzah!
Ahoy there, ye bold seekers of the strange and unexplained. Welcome aboard the Bloody Gull, the finest vessel to ever sail the shadowed waters of the unknown. I'm Captain Jebediah Blackwater, pirate, wanderer, and your guide through the murky depths where legend and truth collide.
Hoist the Jolly Roger! Batten down the hatches!
Each week we set our course for the uncharted seas of mystery, where ghost ships drift, ancient curses linger, and secrets older than the ocean itself await discovery. From tales of the deep to whispers of forgotten worlds, there's no riddle too dark or storm too fierce for this crew.
Hooray! Shiver me timbers! Full ahead!
So tighten your lines, ready your hearts, and keep your wits sharp, 'cause the sea's got its secrets, and she won't give 'em up without a fight. Now, let's weigh anchor and dive into the unknown.
The Bloody Gull, the ship with a legacy as long and winding as the ocean she sailed, was no stranger to strange waters. A moonlit night, somewhere in the vast Atlantic, Captain Jeb gathered his crew in the galley. The storm had passed, leaving the sea calm but the air heavy with mystery. It was the perfect night for a tale not of some distant rumor or sailor's yarn, but an adventure Captain Jeb had lived through himself.
Gather close, ye hearties. This be no ordinary tale, but one of truth, terror, and time itself. Aye, it's a tale of how the Bloody Gull and her brave crew, including yours truly, sailed into the maw of the Bermuda Triangle and came out on the other side. Though not quite the same.
The crew leaned in, their faces lit by the warm glow of lanterns, their expressions equal parts curiosity and unease.
It all began on a summer's night, not unlike this one. The stars were bright, the wind fair, and the sea calm enough to lull a kraken to sleep. We'd taken a lucrative haul from Nassau and were charting a course north. As we approached the infamous triangle, I felt a strange chill run down me spine. A sailor's sixth sense, if ye will. Something weren't right. By midnight, the sea had turned glassy, reflecting the stars like a black mirror. Then it happened. A light, no, a beam, shot down from the heavens, bright as 1,000 suns. It struck the water dead ahead of us, and the sea, it began to boil.
Boil, Captain? Surely you'd been at the rum.
Hey, I'd had a nip, but not enough to see what wasn't there. The water boiled, steam rising high, and that's when we saw them. 3 ships sailing in formation, but they weren't like any ships I'd ever seen. They glowed with an eerie green light, and their sails looked like they were made of pure moonlight.
The crew murmured, exchanging uneasy glances. Even the saltiest among them had never heard of ships like these.
We tried to steer clear, but it was like the Bloody Gull had a mind of her own. She was drawn to the light. Then, without warning, the stars above began to spin. Aye, spin like a whirlpool in the sky. The wind picked up, howling in our ears, and before we could blink, the Gull was sucked into a vortex. We blacked out, every man jack of us. When I came to, the sky was red, the sea calm but not right. The air smelled different, heavy like metal, and those glowing ships were gone. replaced by something even stranger. 3 massive discs hovering above the water.
Discs? Like flying saucers?
Aye, exactly. They hummed like a swarm of bees, and from their undersides came beams of light, searching the water as if they were looking for something or someone. Suddenly, one of the beams hit the gull, and I swear to ye, time itself slowed. The waves froze mid-crest, and the air shimmered like a desert mirage.
Jeb's voice dropped to a whisper, pulling his listeners in closer.
It was then I realized we weren't in our time anymore. The sun rose in the west and set in the east, and on the horizon there were islands that don't exist on any map I've ever seen. The crew, some thought we'd died and gone to Davy Jones's locker. But I knew better. We were adrift in a time that wasn't our own. We tried to navigate back, but the compass spun like a top, useless as a drunken cabin boy. Days, or what felt like days, passed, and those discs never left us. They watched, studied. Once they even sent down something like a small boat, only it floated in the air and shimmered like heat on the horizon. From it stepped beings, tall, slender, and glowing faintly blue. They didn't speak, but somehow I could feel their thoughts. They were curious, but not cruel.
What do they want, Captain?
Knowledge, I reckon. They scanned the gull, looked at our maps, even touched the wheel. Then, as suddenly as they came, they vanished. The discs shot into the sky, leaving us adrift once more.
Jeb paused, his eyes distant as if he were seeing it all again.
It took another sunrise, or was it 3, before we found the vortex again. I gave the order, and the gull sailed straight into it. The crew held their breath as the world spun around us, colors flashing like a storm of rainbows. And then we were back. The sea was calm, the stars steady, but we'd lost a full month. So, mates, that's the tale. Did we travel through time? Did we meet creatures not of this world? I can't say for sure, but I know this. There's more to the Bermuda Triangle than storms and sinking ships. It's a place where reality itself bends, and not all who enter come back the same.
The crew sat in stunned silence, the weight of Jeb's tale heavy in the air. Somewhere outside, the sea lapped against the hull of the Bloody Gull, as if the ocean herself was listening.
Now who's ready for another round of rum? If we're gonna sail these waters, we might as well do it properly.
Oh, Captain Jeb, a legend bold with a ghostly crew and a heart of gold. A cursed ship on a spectral tide, through storm and fire he takes his stride. With his saber high and his laugh so loud, he strikes the fear in the devil's crowd. A quaking rose, but it met its match. Jeb's cannon roared, left it naught but scratch. Oh, Captain Jeb on the spectral sea, fighting monsters wild and free. The Navy's chasing, they'll never win. With a wink and a laugh he sails again. The ghost pirates came in the dead of night, their eyes ablaze with spectral light. Join our crew or we'll seal your fate. But Jeb cried back, I'll dictate my slate. Through the clashing swords and the cannon's roar, he sent their captain to the ocean floor. Now they whisper low of the man they dread, for he beats the dead and he took their bread. Oh, Captain Jeb on the spectral sea, fighting monsters wild and free. The Navy's chasing, they'll never win. With a wink and a laugh he sails again. From Dublin shores to Havana's bay, he outruns fleets in the light of day. With a ghostly gust his sails unfurled, a shadow's terror, the bane of the world. With a swashbuckling grin and his trusty flask, no quest too wild, no treasure too vast. He frees the poor and he feeds the weak, a spectral hero, the rogue unique. Oh, Captain Jeb on the spectral sea, fighting monsters wild and free. The Navy's chasing, they'll never win. With a wink and a laugh he sails again. So raise your glass to the spectral king, to ghostly battles and the songs we sing. For Captain Jeb his legend will grow, a pirate's heart where the wild winds blow.
Ahoy there, me salty sailors of the strange. It's time to batten down the hatches and sharpen your wits, for ye've stepped aboard seas of mystery. Here the waters run deep with tales as dark as the abyss, and the truths we uncover be as slippery as an eel in oil. Tonight we chart a course through one of the most beguiling mysteries to ever haunt the seven seas, the Bermuda Triangle. A place so steeped in strange tales and vanishing acts, even the bravest sailor hesitates to cross its cursed borders. Many have entered the triangle and fewer have come out. Ships swallowed whole, planes plummeting from the skies, and entire crews disappearing without a trace. Some call it the Devil's Triangle, claiming it to be a portal to another world. Others whisper of magnetic anomalies that send compasses spinning like a tavern dancer. Whatever the cause, one thing be certain. It's a place where logic drowns and mysteries thrive. Tonight we'll be telling tales of the Triangle's most baffling vanishings, including the infamous Flight 19, ghost ships adrift in its haunted waters, and strange weather that defies the very laws of nature. And that's not all. We've got letters from ye, me loyal crew, and even a special guest, a pilot who escaped the Triangle's clutches with a story that'll chill your bones. So pour yourself a hearty mug of grog, hoist the sails of your curiosity, and join me as we venture into the heart of the unknown. But beware, mates. Once ye've heard the Triangle's secrets, ye might not look at the sea the same again. Aye, before we set sail deeper into these treacherous waters, let's hear a word from one of our fine sponsors. They help keep seas of mystery afloat and our tales reaching your ears. Let's give a hearty cheer for tonight's sponsor, Davy Jones Dark Roast Coffee.
For when ye need to stay sharp as a cutlass and bold as a buccaneer, Davy Jones Dark Roast Coffee is the brew ye need. Made from the finest beans in the 7 seas, it'll keep your eyes open even in the darkest of storms.
So if you find yourself on a long night watch or planning to map out the Bermuda Triangle, reach for Davy Jones Dark Roast. It's coffee for the brave. Get your hands on a bag today at darkroastforthebrave.com or wherever fine coffees be sold.
Heist the Jolly Roger!
Huzzah!
Now that you've got your cup of courage, let's get back to uncovering the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Hold fast, mates, for the real adventure be about to begin. Gather round, mates, for our first tale tonight be one of the most infamous vanishing acts the Bermuda Triangle's ever seen. It was December 5th, 1945, a day that started fair and bright, but ended in mystery darker than a moonless night at sea. 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers, known collectively as Flight 19, set out on a routine training mission from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Their task? A navigational exercise over the Atlantic, practicing bombing runs and making their way back to base. Simple enough for skilled airmen. But what happened next would confound the world. This is FT28. We can't see land. Everything looks strange. Even the ocean doesn't look as it should. Those be the haunting words of Lieutenant Charles Taylor, their flight leader. Moments later, chaos erupted. The planes reported malfunctions, compasses spinning wild, instruments useless, and visibility turning into a nightmare. Then silence. All radio contact was lost.
For hours, the Navy listened, hoping to catch a clue, a location, even a distress call. But Flight 19 was gone, vanished without a trace. No wreckage was ever found, no oil slicks, no debris, not even a scrap of fabric from their uniforms. A rescue mission was launched immediately, and yet the Triangle had more tricks up its sleeve.
A Martin Mariner flying boat carrying 13 crew members went after Flight 19. But just like the bombers, it too disappeared. Poof! Gone into the ether, as if the very sea had swallowed it whole. The rescue mission turned into another tragedy, and the Bermuda Triangle claimed even more lives. So what be the truth behind this mysterious disappearance? Some say it were magnetic anomalies, the triangle messing with the plane's instruments, leaving them lost and disoriented. Others claim a rogue storm rolled in, burying them in a watery grave. But then there be the wildest theories. Whispers of extraterrestrial abductions, time warps, or a portal to another dimension.
Over the years, investigations have turned up nothing but speculation. Theories abound, yet the Bermuda Triangle remains silent, giving no clues as to the fate of Flight 19. It leaves us wondering, did those men lose their way, or were they taken by something far beyond our understanding?
What say ye, mates? Be it the work of nature, something otherworldly, or just plain bad luck. Whatever the truth may be, the loss of Flight 19 reminds us how small we truly are when faced with the vast mysteries of the sea. Before we chart our next course through the Triangle's treacherous waters, let me tell ye about a fine spirit that's always by me side. Poseidon's anchor rum. For when the seas get rough and the tales get darker, there's no better companion to keep your spirits high.
Poseidon's anchor rum, crafted from the finest sugarcane and aged barrels kissed by the sea. It's the perfect blend of bold flavor and smooth finish, ready to calm even the fiercest tempest in your soul.
So when ye be toasting to lost treasures or unwinding after a long voyage, make it Poseidon's anchor rum, the spirit of adventure in every bottle. Find it in your nearest port of call or online at anchorspirits.com. Tell 'em Captain Jeb sent ye. Now that your thirst be quenched, let's get back to unraveling the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Hold fast, mates. There be more strange tales on the horizon. Mates, if the skies above the Bermuda Triangle be cursed, then the waters below be equally sinister. Ye see, the Triangle's not just a graveyard for planes. It's claimed its fair share of ships, too. And some of them ships, well, they never stopped sailing, even after their crews vanished into the abyss. Let's start with a tale most of ye have heard. The Mary Celeste. Now, I know what some of y'all say. Captain, the Mary Celeste weren't nowhere near the Bermuda Triangle. Hey, that's true enough. She was found adrift near Portugal in 1872. But there's a connection to the Triangle's strange phenomena if ye know where to look.
The Mary Celeste was discovered abandoned, her crew gone without a trace. The ship was fully stocked with provisions, her cargo untouched, and no signs of foul play or violent storms. One theory suggests the ship was caught in a rogue wave or a waterspout, phenomena frequently reported in the Triangle. Could this same force be responsible for other vanishings in the Devil's Triangle?
But the Mary Celeste be just the beginning, mates. There's another tale. A ship called the Ellen Austin. She was a sturdy American brig sailing in 1881 when her crew spotted a mysterious abandoned schooner adrift in the Triangle. Now, the Ellen Austin's captain ordered his men to board the derelict vessel and tow her to safety. But here's where it gets strange. Each time the Ellen Austin's men boarded the schooner, something strange happened. The first crew sent aboard disappeared entirely, leaving the schooner abandoned again. The second crew met the same fate, vanishing into thin air. By the time the Ellen Austin gave up on the attempt, the mysterious schooner drifted back into the Triangle, never to be seen again.
Was it bad luck? Pirates? Or something far darker? Witnesses later claimed the schooner was cursed, a ghost ship doomed to sail the Triangle forever, claiming the lives of any who dared set foot aboard her decks.
And then there be the tale of the Carol A. Deering, a 5-mast schooner found run aground in 1921 on the treacherous Diamond Shoals near North Carolina. Her crew was gone, and the ship's log, navigation equipment, and even personal belongings were missing. The last place she was seen intact? Aye, you guessed it, the Bermuda Triangle.
Some reports suggested mutiny, others piracy, but locals swore the Deering was cursed. Some claimed to see ghostly figures aboard her decks, even as she sailed. And when she ran aground, those same witnesses said they heard voices in the night, faint otherworldly cries echoing across the waves.
And let's not forget the USS Cyclops, a naval collier lost in 1918, with over 3,000 souls aboard. She vanished without sending a distress call, and no trace was ever found. Not a bolt, not a plank, not even a lifeboat. They say the triangle swallowed her whole, and some sailors believe her ghost still roams the waves, calling out for help that'll never come. Be it mutiny, storms, or curses, the ghost ships of the Bermuda Triangle remind us that the sea keeps her secrets close, and not every soul who sails her waters finds their way back. Now, before we continue our voyage into the unknown, let me tell ye about a treasure every pirate should have. A bit of light in the dark. Mermaid's Haven candles, handcrafted and scented with the finest blends of the sea.
Mermaid's Haven candles infused with the essence of coastal breezes, salty waves, and sunlit shores. Perfect for when ye want to set a calming course or add a bit of romance to your galley.
So whether ye be lighting your cabin on a stormy night or just enjoying the sweet smells of the ocean, make it Mermaid's Haven candles. Available at your nearest port or online at mermaidshaven.com. Go on, mates. Treat yourself.
Ahoy! Aye! Aye!
Right, now that we got a bit of light for the dark, let's get back to our tales of ghost ships and triangle terrors. Hold fast. There'll be more mysteries ahead. Mates, we've shared tales of vanishing ships and ghostly vessels, but tonight we set our sights above the waves to the skies over the Bermuda Triangle. And who better to guide us through the turbulence than a man who's faced the Triangle's mysteries firsthand? Please welcome Jack Mercer, a retired pilot with a tale to chill your bones. Welcome aboard, Jack.
Thanks, Captain Jeb. It's a real honor to join ye. I'll tell ya, flying through the Triangle's not for the faint of heart. That place'll test a man in ways he ain't prepared for.
Let's dive right into it, Jack. Take us back to that day. What did you see out there?
Well, it was back in '87. I was flying a cargo run from Miami to Puerto Rico. Routine stuff. The skies were clear, not a cloud in sight. Then out of nowhere, the instruments went haywire. My compass started spinning like a top. The altimeter said I was climbing even though I was steady, and the radio crackled like it was picking up voices.
Voices, you say? What kind of voices?
Hard to explain. It was like a garbled mix of languages, like hearing a ghost argue in a tin can. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by this green fog, thick as pea soup and glowing like something out of a sci-fi flick.
A green fog, eh? And what happened next?
Well, I was in that fog for maybe 5 minutes, but when it cleared, I was 200 miles off course. The weird part? My fuel gauge said I hadn't burned more than I should have for that short time. To this day, I can't explain it.
Sounds like the Triangle's playing tricks on ye, Jack. Tell me, do ye reckon it's something supernatural?
I ain't saying it's ghosts or aliens, but I've been flying for 30 years, and that day was beyond anything normal.
Well, mates, you've heard Jack's harrowing tale, but what say we hear from some of ye landlubbers out there? Let's take a call. First up, we've got Maggie from Charleston. You're on, Maggie.
Hi, Captain Jeb and Jack. I just wanted to say I believe Jack's story because my granddad had a similar experience back in the 70s. He was fishing near Bimini when a storm rolled in out of nowhere. When it cleared, his boat was drifting in waters he didn't recognize, and his watch was 3 hours ahead.
Aye, that be another triangle trick. Time slipping like sand through an hourglass. Thank ye for sharing, Maggie. Let's see who's next. Now we've got Carl from New Orleans. What's your tale, Carl?
Captain, I ain't saying there's no weird stuff going on, but don't you think magnetic fields and weather patterns explain most of this? The ocean's unpredictable. That's just how it is.
Fair point, Carl. The sea's always had her mysteries, but what about Jack's instruments acting up, or that strange green fog? Science explains much, but not everything.
Fair enough, Captain. Guess there's some things we'll never know.
Well said, Carl. Thanks for weighing in. Now, let's take one more call before we dive deeper. We've got Isla from Tampa on the line.
Captain Jeb, I grew up near the Triangle. One night I swear I saw a plane fly overhead with its lights flickering. But here's the strange part. It didn't make a sound. It just disappeared into the clouds. Could it have been one of those lost planes?
Perhaps, Isla, perhaps. The Triangle's got a way of keeping its secrets. Thank ye for sharing that chilling tale. Jack, you've heard the tales of our listeners. What do ye make of it all? Are we dealing with nature's wrath or something otherworldly?
All I can say, Captain, is that something's out there, something we can't explain. And whether it's science or the supernatural, it's enough to make me steer clear of those waters for good.
Well, Jack, thank ye for joining us tonight and sharing your tale. Your courage in the face of the unknown be an inspiration to us all. Right, mates, we're far from done. Up next, we'll delve into the Triangle's strongest theories: time warps, alien abductions, and ancient civilizations. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Lost your ship to the Kraken? Sunk your stoop on cursed waters? Then call Kraken's Cove Insurance, protecting pirates and privateers from the unholy dangers of the deep. Whether it's ghost ships, rogue waves, or sea monsters, we've got you covered. Sign up today and get a free cursed compass, guaranteed to lead ye somewhere eventually.
Mates, the sea has a way of connecting us all, no matter where we hail from. Your letters keep this ship sailing, and tonight, I've got a fine haul of tales from ye salty dogs. Let's dive right in and see what mysteries your minds have dredged up. Our first letter tonight comes from young Peter out of Savannah, a lad with a good sense of curiosity, I reckon. Let's see what he's got to share. Dear Captain Jeb, I've been listening to your show for months now and had to share my own Triangle story. Back in 1995, my family and I were on a cruise to the Bahamas. On the second night, the ship was rocking more than it should have been. There weren't no storms reported, but the seas were wild. Around midnight, I woke up to see a strange glow outside our cabin window. It wasn't the moonlight, and it wasn't another ship. It was green and seemed to shimmer like it was alive. Green, ye say? That glow's been reported by many a sailor, Peter. Some claim it's the spirit of the sea herself. Others say it's something far darker, like the glow of cursed treasure buried deep beneath the waves. Let's see what happened next. Then the weirdest thing happened. My watch stopped dead, and my dad's GPS, he always carried one being a sailor himself, went blank. When the glow finally disappeared, the ship's crew announced we were way off course. No one could explain it, and to this day, I get chills just thinking about it. Aye, Peter, technology fails us when we need it most in those waters. They say the triangle plays tricks on our fancy gadgets, leaving us relying on our wits. That glow may have been a warning, or perhaps a guide, but we'll never truly know. Next up, we've got a letter from Margaret in Halifax. She's got a yarn passed down from her gran, a tough old sailor if there ever was one. Dear Captain Jeb, first off, I love your show. Why, thank you, Margaret. It's the highlight of my week. I wanted to share a story my grandmother told me when I was a wee lass. She was a nurse on a hospital ship during World War II. They were sailing near Bermuda when they passed a derelict vessel. It looked old, really old, like something from the 1800s. A derelict vessel from the 1800s, you say? Now that's the stuff of ghostly legends. Did her grand dare investigate, I wonder? Let's find out. The odd part was that as they passed it, everyone aboard started feeling nauseous, and the radios began picking up strange noises, like someone trying to talk through static. Some of the crew swore they saw figures moving on deck, but no one dared go near it. When they reported it later, no one believed them. Figures moving on deck, eh? Sounds like the ship weren't as abandoned as it seemed. Could it have been ghosts, cursed souls, or something darker still? Whatever it was, Margaret, your gran had the sense to steer clear, and that's a lesson for us all. Here's a tale from Thomas out of Galveston. Sounds like this one comes straight from the depths. Ahoy, Captain Jeb. I don't know if this counts as a triangle tale, but it's something strange all the same. A few years ago, I was fishing off the coast of Key West with my brother. We were out late hoping to reel in something big. Around 2 a.m., the water went completely still. No waves, no breeze, nothing. Then we saw it. A shadow under the water, big enough to be a whale, but it wasn't moving like any creature I know. A shadow in the stillness? That's got the makings of a true triangle mystery, Thomas. Was it some beastie from the deep, or something we ain't even got words for yet? We stayed still, watching, when suddenly our lines snapped all at once, like something cut 'em clean. The shadow vanished, and the sea came back to life like nothing ever happened. To this day, I swear we saw something unnatural out there. Thomas, that shadow might have been one of the Triangle's guardians, keeping intruders away from its secrets. Whatever it was, he did right not to pursue it. Curiosity sunk many a sailor. Last one for tonight, mates, and this one's from Elisa in San Diego. She's got a tale from a place steeped in mystery, the Bimini Road. Captain Jeb, thank you for keeping the spirit of the seas alive with your show. I've always been fascinated by the Bermuda Triangle, so when I got the chance to visit Bimini last year, I jumped at it. While I was snorkeling near the Bimini Road, I felt this weird pull, like something was calling me deeper. Ah, the call of the deep. Many a soul's felt it, Elisa, and few have dared to follow. Let's see what else she's got to say. It wasn't scary, but it wasn't natural either. Later, I learned that some believed the Bimini Road is part of Atlantis. Do you think it's possible, Captain, that I felt the energy of something ancient down there? Eliza, if any place holds the echoes of Atlantis, it's the Bimini Road. The pull ye felt might have been the whisper of ancient power, calling to those who can hear its song. But be wary, lass. The Triangle doesn't always welcome visitors with open arms. Well, mates, those be the tales from your fellow crew tonight. Stories of the strange and unexplainable that keep us all coming back to the Triangle. If you've got a story of your own, send it my way. Now, let's set course for the next part of our journey. Theories about what's truly behind Bermuda Triangle's mysteries.
Oh, the Bloody Gull set sail one morn with Captain Jeb at the helm, weather worn through the turquoise seas with a crew so bold to the Bermuda Triangle where stories are told. Whispers of ghosts and ships long gone, of compasses spinning from dusk till dawn. But fear we toss to the depths below, for a pirate's life is all we know. Into the triangle where shadows creep, where the sky turns black and the oceans weep. Through the veil of the lost, where the brave won't go, we'll chase the storm and steal its glow. Of thunder and a flash of light, the triangle swallowed the day to night. Waves like mountains rose and fell as the gulls above screeched a warning bell. Yet Jeb roared loud, hold fast my crew, there's treasure ahead and it's ours to pursue. Through winds that howled like banshee cries, the Bloody Gull cut through the storm-torn skies. Into the triangle where shadows creep, where the sky turns black and the oceans weep. Through the veil of the lost, where the brave won't go, we'll chase the storm and steal its glow. In the heart of the storm, a ghostly fleet with sails of mist and a silent beat. Their eyes like fire, their voices a wail. Turn back now or you'll share our tale. But Jeb drew his blade and cursed the air. No ghost or gale shall force despair. Where Bloody Gull boys we fear no grave, we'll claim the spoils that the Triangle gave. When dawn broke through, the storm had fled, and in its wake, the sea glowed red. A chest of gold on the deck did gleam, a cursed reward or a pirate's dream. But the crew knew well as they sailed away, the Triangle's grip would call one day. Yet they laughed and drank their spirits high, for a pirate lives, but he's born to die. Into the Triangle where shadows creep, where the sky turns black and the oceans weep. Through the veil of the lost, where the brave won't go, we'll chase the storm and steal its glow. So raise your mugs to the Bloody Gull, to Captain Jeb and his heart so full. May the Triangle sing of their daring tale, of pirates who laughed in the devil's gale.
Right, mates, the Bermuda Triangle ain't just a place of mystery. It's a playground for the mind, where science, myth, and the downright bizarre collide like storm-tossed waves. Over the years, many have tried to explain the Triangle's peculiarities, each theory more curious than the last. Let's dive deeper into the wildest of these tales. First up, time warps. Aye, that's right. Some believe the Triangle be a region where time itself can buckle like a poorly tied knot. Picture this. Ye set sail in the year 2025, and when ye dock, it's 1725. Reports from pilots and sailors speak of strange clouds, sudden disorienting sensations, and clocks that don't match the time outside the triangle. Could the triangle be a gateway to another era? Then there's the notion of extraterrestrial activity. You've heard the stories. Lights dancing in the sky, strange objects rising from the waves, and entire crews vanishing, perhaps whisked away to distant worlds. Some reckon the triangle be an intergalactic way station, a cosmic crossroads where our world intersects with others. A few even claim to have seen ships pulled into beams of light. Could these waters hide a beacon or a portal used by beings far beyond our ken? And let's not forget the lost civilization of Atlantis. Atlantis, the mythical city swallowed by the sea. Some claim its ruins lie deep beneath the triangle, radiating an unknown energy that interferes with our technology. Be it a city of advanced science, magic, or something stranger still, the legacy of Atlantis might explain the triangle's deadly reputation.
In the late 20th century, divers reported peculiar magnetic readings and unusual underwater formations near the triangle. While skeptics dismiss them as natural rock formations, believers argue they're remnants of Atlantean structures, with technology still alive and manipulating the sea.
Now, some of ye might be thinking, this is all a load of codswallop. But tell me this, if the triangle ain't special, why have so many credible folks seen and experienced things they can't explain? Could it all be magnetic anomalies, as scientists suggest? Or is it something bigger at play here? One more tale for ye. In 1991, a private plane flying from the Bahamas to Florida encountered a mysterious cloud tunnel. The pilot claimed his plane was enveloped by a swirling vortex, and when he emerged, he was 100 miles off course. But he'd arrived 30 minutes early. Explain that, eh? Mates, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The sea's full of secrets, and the Bermuda Triangle's one of her deepest. Whether it's time's slipways, ancient ruins, or little green men with a penchant for abducting sailors, there's something about those waters that makes me spine shiver.
Captain Jeb, this is Dave from Charleston. I heard a story once about a freighter in the 70s that sailed into a weird fog, and when it came out, all the crew were gone except for one. Any truth to that?
Aye, Dave, you must be talking about the infamous case of the SS Cotopaxi. She vanished in 1925, but reports surfaced decades later of ghostly appearances and lone survivors, claiming tales stranger than fiction. That fog he mentioned could be tied to anomalies or even a portal, depending on who ye ask. But whatever happened, it's another notch in the triangle's ledger of strangeness. So, mates, what say ye? A place of scientific phenomena, or a realm where the supernatural holds sway? Whatever the answer, I wouldn't recommend sailing there unless you're ready to face the unknown.
In the warm glow of the galley, Captain Jeb sat at the head of the table, his tankard in hand and a mischievous glint in his eye. The crew leaned in, eager for another of their captain's legendary tales. This one, he assured them, was a victory, treasure, and a mystery that left even him scratching his head.
Right, mates, settle in. This be a tale of gold glory and the cursed waters of the Bermuda Triangle. Aye, it's about the time the Bloody Gull chased down a merchant ship with a belly full of riches and came out on top, or so we thought. It began on a day as fair as any other. We'd been patrolling the triangle, looking for fat merchantmen foolhardy enough to take a shortcut through those infamous waters. By mid-afternoon, the lookout cried out from the crow's nest, "Sail ho!" A merchant ship riding low in the water, meaning she was heavy with cargo. Gold, spices, maybe even silks, enough to keep us living like kings for years.
Was she armed, Captain?
Aye, but lightly. Just a few cannon, more for show than for fighting. We closed the distance fast, the Bloody Gull cutting through the waves like a blade through butter. As we drew near, I raised the flag. You know the one, black as night, with a skull grinning wide. I gave 'em a chance to surrender. They didn't take it.
Jeb paused, letting the tension build. The crew shifted in their seats, hanging on his every word.
Instead, they fired their cannons. An act of bravery or foolishness, I'll leave ye to decide. We answered back, our broadside sending wood splinters flying. It wasn't long before we closed the gap and boarded. Their crew fought hard, I'll give 'em that. But the Bloody Gullsmen fought harder. Steel clashed, muskets roared, and the deck ran slick with sea spray and sweat. In the end, we took the prize. The hold was stuffed with treasure, gold coins, jewels, and even barrels of fine rum. We loaded it onto the Gull, celebrating our victory with cheers and a few swigs of the spoils.
So, where's the mystery, Captain? Sounds like a right good day.
Patience, lad. Here's where it gets strange. As we were sailing away, leaving the merchant ship to drift, a fog rolled in. Not from the sea, but from above. Thick as soup it was, and cold enough to make your bones ache. When it cleared, the merchant ship was gone. Gone, I tell ye. Not a mast, not a splinter, not even a ripple on the water to show she'd ever been there. It was as if the triangle itself had swallowed her whole. I sent a few men to the crow's nest to look for wreckage, but there was nothing to be seen. Just an empty horizon.
The crew's murmurs grew louder. Even the most hardened among them looked uneasy.
I thought maybe she'd sunk fast, taken her secrets to the depths. But here's the thing. When we reached port weeks later, word came from another ship that had passed through the triangle. They claimed to have seen a ghostly vessel, matching the merchant ship's description, sailing silently under a full moon. No crew, no lights, just a shadow gliding across the water.
You think it was cursed, Captain?
Cursed? Perhaps. Or maybe the triangle has its own way of claiming what sails through its waters. Either way, I'll never forget the sight of the fog rolling in and the ship vanishing without so much as a whisper.
Jeb leaned back in his chair, his eyes glinting in the firelight, as if daring his crew to challenge the story. None did. Instead, they sat in stunned silence, the weight of the tale settling over them like a shroud.
So, lads, remember this. The triangle's not just a place of storms and tales. It's alive, watching, waiting. And if ye take too much, it might just take ye back. Now, who's got the next round?
What shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? Shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? What shall we do with Captain Jeb's crew? The rum runs dry in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Send him to swab the ghostly galleon. Send him to swab and send them to swab the ghostly galley till the spirits stop their mourning. Way hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Time to the mast when the kraken's thrashing, time to the mast when the kraken's thrashing, time to the mast when the kraken's thrashing, and hope they don't go swimming. Way hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Feed 'em to the gulls if they steal my treasure, feed 'em to the gulls if they steal my treasure, feed 'em to the gulls if they steal my treasure, and I'll be laughing, roaring. Way hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. But if they fight, I'll share me plunder, if they fight, I'll share me plunder, if they fight, I'll share me plunder with grog and gold adorning. Way hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. So raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew, raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew, raise your cups to Captain Jeb's crew, and sing this song till morning. Way hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning.
Well, mates, tonight we've charted the murky waters of the Bermuda Triangle. We've delved into tales of ghost ships, strange fogs, and mysterious disappearances. Each one leaving us with more questions than answers. But before we pull into port, let's share one last tale from a listener and take a call to keep the conversation alive. Our final letter tonight comes from Ellie in Tampa. Let's see what she's got to share with us. Ahoy, Captain Jeb. I've always been fascinated by the Bermuda Triangle, but I never thought I'd experience it myself. Last summer, I went parasailing in the Bahamas. It was beautiful at first, but as I was up there, the sky suddenly turned gray, and I felt like I was being watched. Ellie, you've got me hooked already. That feeling of being watched, it's a common thread in Triangle tales. Let's see what else happened. When I came back down, my instructor looked shaken. He said I'd been up there twice as long as I should have been, but to me, it felt like only a few minutes. I didn't believe him until I checked my phone. It was 45 minutes later than when I went up. Time slipping away like that, it's enough to make a seasoned sailor shiver. The Triangle's got a way of bending time and space, leaving us wondering if we've touched something beyond our understanding. Thank ye for sharing, Ellie. And now let's hear from one of ye brave souls out there. Who's on the line?
This is Mike from Charleston. Captain Jeb, I've got to tell you, I love your show. I had an experience in the Triangle last year, and it still keeps me up at night.
Mike from Charleston, you've got the floor, mate. Spin us your yarn.
Well, I was taking my boat out for a solo fishing trip. The weather was clear, but out of nowhere, this weird mist rolled in, thick as pea soup. I tried using my GPS, but it just kept showing I was spinning in circles. Then I saw lights in the mist, like a ship's lanterns, but there weren't no one out there. When the mist cleared, I was miles off course.
Lights in the mist, ye say? That's a classic Triangle trick. Some say it's the spirits of lost sailors. Others think it's the sea herself trying to lead us astray. Mike, I'd wager you've got a guardian spirit watching over ye. Thanks for sharing, mate. As we set our sights on the horizon, the triangle's mysteries remain unsolved, but the sea's got plenty more mysteries to share. Next week, we'll dive into the legends of the Kraken and the Leviathan. Are they just myths born from sailors' fears, or could something monstrous still lurk beneath the waves? Tune in to find out if you've got the courage. Mates, the sea's a wild and untamable beast, and the Bermuda Triangle be her trickiest card. A hand dealt with no rules and no reason. It's a place where nature shows us her mysteries and reminds us that for all our maps and charts, there be realms we'll never fully understand. We've sailed together through tales of vanishings, ghostly lights, and time itself slipping like sand through a sailor's fingers. But remember this, the Triangle may be a place of legends, but it's also a mirror. It shows us our fears, our wonder, and the limits of what we think we know. For every ship that's lost, there's a sailor who dared to venture too far. For every tale of ghostly lights, there's a spark of curiosity that keeps the fire burning. So when ye find yourself facing the unknown, be it the depths of the sea or the storms within your soul, hold fast. Keep your compass steady, your crew close, and your courage like a lighthouse in the darkest night. For the sea, mates, she don't just take, she teaches, she challenges, and she rewards those brave enough to listen to her whispers. As we bring tonight's voyage to a close, let me leave ye with a thought. The mysteries we chase, whether on the waves or in the stars, are what make life the grand adventure it is. And so, until the next tide calls us back to these strange waters, keep wondering, keep exploring, and keep dreaming of what lies beyond the horizon. This be Captain Jeb signing off from Seas of Mystery. May your sails catch the fairest winds, and your heart be braver than the fiercest storm. Fair winds and following seas, me hearties. We'll meet again where the stars kiss the waves and the tales never end.